Okay, so first of all, hopefully everyone can see my screen. But welcome to the College of Business Administration. We're going to just be providing, or I'm going to be providing just a brief overview of the College of Business Administration and also academic advising and how to utilize your academic advisors on campus. Okay, so first of all, my name is Amara Weber. I am one of the academic advisors. So all of us, all the advisors shown on the screen here, with the exception of Maydeli Martinez, will be your advisors. Maydeli advises for pre-business students only. And she also handles our front desk. So you'll be probably communicating with her as well. We also have Ms. Nubia Junco Lara, who's also going to be helping monitor the chat today. And then we also have Jeff Green and Maggie Badillo, who are also academic advisors in the College of Business. So just a little bit about what we do to help support you guys is we help you define a realistic degree planner each semester. We also help you review your progress towards graduation and also your academic requirement report, also known as your ARR. Okay, so we usually use the same tools. Obviously, we use the same tools that you guys have access to. We also process and review business status applications, which I'll get into more of that in just a few minutes. We also refer students to campus resources, or if you're not sure where to go, we're here to help support you. Also, a little bit about how to access us. You are not required to meet with your academic advisor every semester. However, it is advisable that you do, just to make sure you're on track. If you have any questions, concerns, we're here to help. We mainly answer questions about course requirements, business status, scheduling, and degree and graduation planning. So degree and graduation planning is definitely more of an appointment question. So that's one way to access us. You can schedule an appointment. Right now, all appointments are virtual for the foreseeable future, at least until August. So you can schedule an appointment online, and they're up to 30 minutes, and you can do it up to 2 weeks in advance. We just posted appointments for the next 2 weeks today. And the reason why is because we've had drop-ins last week and this week. A drop-in is a 15-minute session, and that's best for like quick questions. And it helps us be able to support you guys as students in a more efficient manner. So like I said, we had those last week and we have them this week as well. If you want more information on how to access us those 2 ways, and even the third way, which I'll talk about in a minute, you can go to the link provided on this page or scan the QR code. Another great way to see your academic advisor is to, or not see your advisor, but to contact your advisor is through eAdvisor, okay? And this is the way that you kind of email us. We usually answer within 3 to 5 business days, but this is the easiest way for us as advisors to field out all the questions that we receive. So if you have a question, try not to email it to us directly, but rather use the eAdvisor because that's the preferred tool. Are there any questions about any questions about the services? You can just unmute yourself. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Okay, so another important tool that hopefully most of you have done is the new student enrollment tutorial. So just by either typing it in the chat or using a nonverbal feedback, could you please just let me know if you have done the enrollment tutorial or if you haven't, just so I can get an idea. Okay. Okay, great. So it looks like the majority of you guys have done it, which is great. And yeah, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you do the enrollment tutorial. We highly recommend that you do the tutorial, especially prior to visiting academic advising, just because this tutorial is probably going to answer a lot of the questions that you may have. Any questions on the tutorial, like at all? All right, so the next thing I'm just going to briefly talk about is a lot of what is covered in the enrollment tutorial are the tools for success. So these are tools that you have access to as long as you have an internet connection 24/7. So those tools are also what we use in your advising sessions. So that's your academic requirement report, your ARR. And you're going to want to use that to track all of your graduation requirements. It'll show you what's met, in progress, and what's still needed. Then there's your degree planner. So your degree planner is just that. It helps you plan towards your degree. So it's really going to show you semester by semester what you should take. And the degree planner is it's based on what the faculty recommends. And also another thing to point out is that if you try to move something around on your degree planner and you haven't taken the prerequisite yet, the degree planner will tell you. So if you're worried about like moving things around, the degree planner is pretty intuitive so that you don't take something in the incorrect order. The last tool is the schedule assistant, and you would use this every semester to help you find classes and build a schedule. So that really takes into account like your breaks or your work times. You can put that in, and then it will filter out based on those breaks and what's available, what your ideal schedule looks like. So these are the tools that you have access to and that we use in your session. And it's also, if you still have questions about these tools, re-review that tutorial. And that should help you. And then if you still have questions, you're welcome to come to advising. Any questions about the tools? Okay. All right, so we're going to go into a little bit about the faculty at CSUSM. So we have our interim dean, Dr. Ben Cherry. And we have Dr. Mohammed Al-Faruqi, who's our associate dean. And these two people essentially help make sure that the college is running smoothly and help also coordinate courses with the department chairs, which we'll talk about in a minute. But they really are here to help support you and make sure that you have all the tools that you need to be able to be successful at CSUSM. Once we get to campus, you will probably see them on campus. You'll definitely probably interact with them at some point. I also know Dr. Cherry does like a summer business abroad type thing. So, you may do that with him depending on how it works out for you. And I'm sure you'll get, that's down the line. But just something to point out that they're very interactive. So definitely when we're on campus, they always love to hear from students. So if you see them, just say hi. Okay, we also have department chairs. A department chair is a faculty member who is basically in charge of the specific option or emphasis within the College of Business. So for example, we have Dr. Alan Stiles, who's the department chair of accounting. So he is who you would go to for any questions about either course substitutions, course approvals, questions about the option. He can really help answer those types of questions for you. They're also available for internship advice if you want to talk about career goals, graduate school options. So each option has a department chair, okay? And definitely, I would say there's probably a good chance that one of these will also be your professors as well, and you will interact with them at some point in some way. But they're really good people to know. especially, you know, depending on your option. If you have questions, they can help you out. Any questions on the faculty?
Hi, so I have a question on the 30-minute appointments.
Mhm.
How would I be able to set that up?
So the appointments are done online. So if you go to the academic advising webpage, then you should be able to, on the left-hand side, I think it says connect with an advisor, and then it should say schedule an appointment.
Okay.
Something like that.
I just click, I just submitted or send the link directly to where you can make an appointment on the chat section. So if you can click on that, it will take you directly there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nubia. Okay, any other questions about the faculty? Okay, so just a little bit about the program. So every one of you, when you finish your business degree, you're going to get your Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. That's what your diploma will say. Now, your option or emphasis is going to be on your transcript. So, for example, if you're getting your Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with an option in accounting, that accounting portion is going to be on your transcript, but not your diploma. So just something to really keep in mind and to take note of in case you get your diploma and you're like, oh, why isn't accounting on there? It's just always been like that. So every student will get their Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and then your transcript would just say whatever option or emphasis you have. We are an impacted major and also the largest single major on campus. So what the impaction really means is all students have to complete a pre-business core along with certain grade and GPA requirements, which I'll go over in just a minute. But that's just a little bit about where we have a lot of students. Therefore, that's why we kind of have this impaction criteria with the pre-business core. Newly admitted students are all classified as pre-business. Whether you're a freshman or a transfer student, it doesn't matter. Everyone comes in as pre-business, and you have to apply to the program in order to get in. And like I said, I'll go over the pre-business requirements, but basically you have to complete your pre-business core in order to get into the program, okay? So just important to point out in case you're wondering, like, why does your major say pre-business? That's why, just because we are impacted and we have to make sure you meet our requirements before we let you kind of into the College of Business. So this is the pre-business core requirements. It's a series of 8 courses, and usually you'll complete these or will have completed these along with your lower division GE. The minimum acceptable grade in each of those 8 courses is a C or higher. Okay, and then the other part is you also have to have a 2.65 GPA in your pre-business core only. So you need a C or higher and a 2.65 GPA in your pre-business core only. So you could have all C's, but that doesn't mean that you have a 2.65 because, as we know, a C average is a 2.0. So I just like to highlight that you have to have both. If your GPA is a 2.645, then we don't round up. So unfortunately, that wouldn't be high enough to get you into the program, at which point we would give you instructions on next steps if you're in that boat. If your GPA is between a 2.5 and a 2.65, you will be waitlisted for business status. So there's no guarantee that students on the wait list will be let into the program. So normally we recommend that you retake courses in order to get your GPA high enough so that you're able to secure your spot in the program with a 2.65 or higher. And then also, so assist.org is a website that will show you what courses that maybe you took at community college will transfer to CSUSM, and what the equivalent courses would be. So for example, some students get confused, like I think at Maricosta, it's business communications. Excuse me, that translates back to CSUSM as business writing. Okay, so assist.org is really going to show you how that transfer agreement looks. And then once you have completed or met all these requirements, you would submit a business status application, and we have those every semester. All of you guys should have gotten an email back on like May 20th or so, just letting you know about the business status application, and that was sent to your personal email addresses. I'll send, there'll be a link in the chat with the application link if you have not submitted it already, but just kind of want to gloss over that briefly. So these are the 8 classes I was kind of talking about. This is pretty much this is where you have to get the C or higher and a 2.65 GPA. And then just a side note, we do not accept courses if they are over 10 years old. Also, there's a link on the screen along with a QR code. If you are ready to apply for business status and you have not done so already, make sure you submit an application. The deadline to apply is July 9th. So if you have finished your pre-business core classes in spring 2021 or prior, or even if you're finishing in summer 2021, you can submit an application. Yeah, that's pretty much all about that. Are there any questions about the business status process?
I had a quick question.
Yeah,
Go ahead, man.
okay. I was just like on the application right now. It says I need a CSUSM email.
Yeah.
Where can I find that?
So your CSUSM email is usually found in your student center. I believe it's like under like personal information within your student center, and it'll have like usually your last name followed by 3 digits, something like that.
Okay.
What was the, did someone else have a question?
Yeah, Fernando, question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How would we verify our status for our business application?
Did you submit an application?
Correct. Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay. This is another thing I should point out. So if you have submitted your application, as of right now, it takes about 2 weeks to get
Got it.
processed, and you
Okay.
will be emailed. You will be emailed once it's processed with just an update if you got business status or not.
Cool. Sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think we had one more question. No?
Quick information. If you're not able to access your email, I put the link where you can contact IITS and they can help you set that up if you haven't. So it will take you directly there.
Thank you, Nadia. All right, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so these are all of the options we have within the College of Business Administration. Our most recent new option that we have is business analytics. So that's brand new starting fall 2021. Also, you can find these on our website as well. So you have a list of these if you're not quite sure or you want more information on each of them. If you go to our webpage, it's going to have all of the options listed along with the worksheet. So you can see which one requires which courses, etc. A lot of them have a lot of overlap with at least your foundation courses, but you just want to make sure that there are some small differences. So if you're not sure which one, make sure you kind of look at those to see which one you're more interested in. You can also talk to the department chair if you're not sure which option you would like to pick as well. Another note is that all options are 51 units. So we get a lot of questions from students who want to know which one is the fastest. They're all about the same length and time because they're all the same amount of units. So it's best to just go with where your interest lies. But yeah, And then the link to the major minor worksheets or the option worksheet is on this page. And then there's also a QR code if you want to scan that as well. Any questions about the options? And you do have to declare an option when you submit your business status application. That is required. Okay. We also have a few signature programs within the College of Business. So they're actually in the form of 2 courses. So you have Business 300, which many of you may be enrolled into already for fall. And Business 300 is a class that is going to essentially is meant to help you address any career goals, developing professional skills earlier on. So that way you're prepared for the workforce more so than if you didn't have that class when you graduate. The next class is Business 495, which is senior experience. And Business 300 is actually a prerequisite to senior experience. So they do work kind of hand in hand together. Business 300 sort of helps mold you, gets you ready for the real world. And then Business 495 is really where you're going to get that experience. So senior experience is a course where you work with a team of 4 to 5 other individuals, and you're going to essentially work as a consultant on real world projects. And Jill Lang is going to go over this a little bit more for you in your next session. Okay. I'm going to briefly, just because we're kind of out of time, I'm going to briefly go over this. Your role and expectations. Make sure you read your CSUSM email regularly. Make sure you accept responsibility for your decisions regarding graduation requirements so we can provide you with information and feedback. But just remember, it's up to you to enroll in your classes, drop any classes, etc. You want to monitor your academic requirement report and your degree planning. So those important tools that we already talked about before, make sure you monitor those, and then make sure you meet with your academic advisor regularly. I can't stress that enough because even though you have those tools, we're also here to help you. A few important dates. Like I said, we have drop-in advising last week and this week. Business status applications are due by July 9th. First day of classes is August 30th. And your last day to add and drop classes is September 13th. So 2 weeks after the first day of the semester. Okay. All right, so make sure to follow us on social media at CSUSM COBA on Instagram, Facebook, and then we're also on LinkedIn. That's where you'll find information on faculty, events, students, opportunities, etc. So make sure you follow us there. And I think they also have giveaways sometimes too. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. Well, actually, yeah, we have a few minutes left. Are there any questions right now that I can answer? You can either unmute yourself or type it in the chat.